The Imposter Sister is a master manipulator. In my past life, this fake heiress Sophie Martinez was doted on and treated like a precious gem. While I, the true William's daughter Amber, was abandoned by my family, scorned by society, and died miserably on the streets. Now watching Sophie's saccharine smile, I smirk. Little does she know everyone around her can hear her vicious thoughts except herself. Where's Amber? I look up to see a young woman in a tweed Chanel-style skirt suit. Curled hair cascading over her shoulders. Pristine lambskin loafers. And full glam makeup sneering at our shabby surroundings. Her designer outfit looks absurdly out of place here. I'm here. Sophie's eyes rake over me with poorly concealed contempt, lingering resentfully on my features. Listen here. She hisses. Voice shrill enough to make me wince. Mom and Dad might be bringing you home. But I've been the Williams heiress for 18 years. Stay in your lane. Or I'll make you regret it. How amusing. 18 years of privilege couldn't teach this imposter basic manners. The real tragedy began when my childhood kidnapping landed me in foster care while Sophie stole my identity. By the time the Williams family found me, she'd already entrenched herself as the perfect daughter through calculated manipulation. Past memories flash: Sophie stabbing my arm with pens during study sessions, dunking my head in toilet bowls between classes, framing me for cheating until I became a school pariah. When I finally escaped to college, she pushed me off an 18th floor balcony. The Williams family crumbled afterward, Thomas imprisoned. Evan vanished. Emily dying heartbroken. I examine my palms. Calloused but unmarked. Rebirth. This time, whenever Sophie's near, everyone hears her venomous inner monologue. How fascinating. I finally study her face properly: the overfilled lips, suspiciously refined nose bridge, telltale scars behind earlobes from discount clinics. She'd been desperately maintaining this surgical mask of resemblance. Interesting theory. I tilt my head. If you're so secure, why get cheap nose jobs every summer? Wouldn't want that silicone to melt. Would we? Sophie lunges to slap me, but I catch her wrist mid-swing. Careful now. I murmur. This face you keep copying? It comes naturally to a real Williams. Maybe find better surgeons next time. Her pupils dilate with panic before hardening. You think some paperwork makes you family? She spits. Wait till we're home. I'll show you true suffering. Then why the preemptive tantrum? I shove her away, watching her stumble. Mom and Dad arrive in 20 minutes. Wouldn't want them seeing their perfect daughter's true colors. The Williams limousine arrives precisely at 3 p.m. Anticipation thrums through me as we approach the estate. Sophie darling. Emily Williams clasps my hand warmly upon entry. This is Amber. You'll be sisters now. I suppress a smile. The DNA test proved my lineage. But decades of manipulation bought Sophie temporary security. Let the games begin. Amber Williams looked at me with a flicker of disgust in her eyes, yet still walked over to affectionately grasp my hand. Of course. Mom. I'll get along perfectly with my sister. Mrs. Williams had barely started smiling in relief when her expression froze. She'd just heard Sophie's inner monologue. Why did this hag actually bring Amber back? Is she trying to kick me out? Disgusting old woman with her fake kindness. Do they even know I deliberately stole Amber's identity instead of it being the orphanage's mistake? Mrs. Williams paled, staring at Sophie's angelic face. For 8 years, the Williams family had doted on their long-lost daughter, showering her with affection even after discovering the mistaken identity, always assuming the orphanage had messed up. Sophie? What did you say? Mrs. Williams demanded. Sophie's eyes widened with practiced innocence. Nothing. Mom. What's wrong? Must be my imagination. Mrs. Williams murmured, though her hands trembled. The girl they'd raised since age 10, could she have been scheming even then? Sophie's poisonous thoughts continued unabated, scared me half to death. The old bat. Why won't she leave already? Having to hug Amber makes me sick. That bitch should have stayed lost. Lost in her hatred. Sophie pinched my arm hard enough to make me yelp. Mrs. Williams immediately pulled me aside, revealing the angry red mark. Though shaken by the mental onslaught, suspicion now rooted deeply in her mind. Sophie, explain this. I bit my lip, tugging Mrs. Williams' sleeve with feigned timidity. Please don't blame her. Mom. It was just a sisterly joke. I discreetly twisted the same spot harder. Sophie's mental scream pierced the air, overreacting hag. So what if I pinched her? Shows her true colors now that her precious blood daughter's home. Mrs. Williams inspected my arm, fury mounting at the fresh bruise. This behavior is unacceptable. Sophie. Amber's return changes nothing about our love for you. Panic finally cracked Sophie's mask. Mom? It's not like that, she reached out tearfully. But Mrs. Williams stepped back, just as maternal instinct softened Mrs. Williams' gaze. Sophie's inner voice lashed out, who does this gold-digging shrew think she is? Living off Dad's money while lecturing me. Wait till I teach that fake crybaby a real lesson. I shrank behind Mrs. Williams, trembling. Enough. Mrs. Williams snapped, ice in her tone. If you resent me this deeply, Sophie, stop the charade. Burying my smile against her shoulder, I watched Sophie's face contort with rage. This was only the beginning. Mrs. Williams, though distraught, remained sharp. She'd been a corporate titan before my disappearance, her business acumen merely dormant. Mr. Williams didn't cherish her just for love, he respected the powerhouse who'd rebuilt their family. That slip about intentional identity theft? She'd investigate relentlessly. Amber. Mrs. Williams said, embracing me. You'll take the room next to Evan's. Being near your brother seems safer. Her red-rimmed eyes betrayed the day's toll. Yet this barely scratched Sophie's treachery. When Mr. Williams and Evan returned that evening, tension hung thick. What's happened? Mr. Williams asked, eyeing Sophie's stormy expression. Sophie opened her mouth. But Mrs. Williams spoke first. We need to discuss some family history. Her gaze locked onto Sophie's, starting with orphanage records from 2012. The real game had just begun. Amber Williams had been waiting for everyone at dinner. Emily Williams interrupted, guiding the tense group towards the dining room. When Thomas Williams and Evan Williams saw slender Amber waiting quietly, they visibly softened. Let's eat. Our girl needs to gain some weight, Thomas declared. Ignoring Sophie Martinez's mental ranting, why does that skinny girl get to sit with us? I'm the real Williams heir. Look at her picking at food like a starved rat. Sophie immediately threw herself into Thomas's arms, pouting dramatically as she rubbed against his sleeve. Raised in luxury by the Williams family, her well-developed figure had always been a source of pride. Daddy. I accidentally upset Mommy today and she's still mad at me. Her voice was honey-sweet and innocent. But before Thomas could respond, Sophie's vicious inner monologue erupted. Once I've got Daddy wrapped around my finger, does that old hag Mrs. Williams think she still matters? Daddy's so handsome, unlike Evan. That charity case. Who does that adopted trash think he is? Pretending to be my brother? Both Thomas and Evan stiffened. Though Evan had been adopted years ago after Amber's disappearance to secure the family legacy, he'd always been treated as the true heir, unlike Sophie, who'd mysteriously shown up later. Emily watched coldly from across the room, having witnessed similar behavior that afternoon. Thomas awkwardly pulled his arm out of Sophie's grasp. If your mother's upset, you must have done something wrong. Apologize properly, you know she's fair. He glanced around uneasily, unsure where the cruel voice had come from. Evan stared at the sister he'd doted on, his jaw tightening as Sophie's thoughts continued. Since when does that witch play fair? I barely twisted Amber's arm. This time, both men clearly heard her venomous words. When Sophie tried to cling to Thomas again, he pushed her away. You're too old for this. Sophie. We've talked about it. Her cheeks flushed with humiliation. masked by fake tears. I understand, who does Evan think he is? Lecturing me? Amber's been waiting for us at dinner, Emily said, steering the tense group to the dining room. When Thomas and Evan saw Amber waiting quietly, they softened. Let's eat. Our girl needs to gain some weight, Thomas declared. Ignoring Sophie's mental outbursts, why does that skinny girl get to sit with us? I'm the real Williams heir. Look at her eating like a starved rat. Evan took the rib Sophie was reaching for and put it on Amber's plate. Eat up, sis. Just ask if you need anything. Emily followed suit, moving another rib to Amber's plate and instructing their shocked housekeeper. Mrs. Johnson, make sure Amber gets nutritious meals. Order whatever high-quality ingredients she needs. Amber nodded silently, overwhelmed by the care she'd never received in her past life. Meanwhile, Thomas quickly added, we'll enroll Amber at Evan Prep. It's our top-tier private school. Sophie slammed her fork down. Daddy. Sophie. Thomas snapped at her outburst, quickly recovering. Sophie simpered. I'm just worried, kids from public school usually struggle at Evan Prep. Her sweet tone clashed with her inner sneer, that low-class trash will embarrass us all. Evan's eyes narrowed as he caught every poisonous thought, his protective instinct towards his rediscovered sister growing stronger. The words reeked of phony sweetness. On the surface, it seemed like concern, but it was really a veiled reminder that this was an elite prep school, and a not-so-subtle jab at Mom and Dad about my supposed lack of sophistication. Amber will attend Evan Academy, Emily Williams declared, dabbing her lips with a napkin. There's no need for you to worry about her academic history, Sophie. If anything, you should be learning from her. One more failing grade, and your allowance gets cut. She ignored Sophie's stormy expression. Sophie had been dating this troublemaker Justin ever since transferring schools, and her grades had plummeted. Mom had turned a blind eye until now. Though clearly hoping for repentance, she only received Sophie's venomous glare. I watched my stepsister slink into a corner to make a call. Sophie, I called out softly. What do you want? You jinx? She slammed her phone shut, face contorted with rage as she lunged at me. I let her slap me, theatrically collapsing to the floor. Sophie, have you lost your mind? Thomas Williams rushed over, gently helping me up while inspecting the redness on my cheek. Are you all right, sweetheart? Feeling dizzy? I'd angled my fall to minimize the impact. Clutching his sleeve tearfully, I murmured, it's okay, Dad. Maybe Sophie's just scared I'll take your love away. Please don't blame her. Sophie's face cycled through pallor and flush. How amusing, if she could play the sweet act. So could I. Amber, Dad said firmly. You're our blood. Of course we'll cherish you. That bitch. Biological daughter? What about all my years of effort? Why does Amber get everything with pretty words? She's faking. I arched an eyebrow at Sophie's mental tirade. The audacity of this imposter, clinging to stolen status. When Dad hesitated, remembering happier times with Sophie, I let silent tears fall. Maybe I should move out. Sophie's cared for you all these years. It's only right you prioritize her. Yes. Get out. Give back everything you stole. I'm the Williams heiress. Die in a ditch. You trash. Sophie's saccharine smile belied her vicious thoughts. Don't say that. Sis. We're family. Family my ass. Get out of our mansion. Dad stared at his adopted daughter as if seeing her for the first time. I hope you mean that. But mark my words, we only spoiled you because the orphanage mix-up made us think you were Amber. Everything you have was meant to be hers. We're letting you stay out of kindness. But Amber is our true heir. He led me away to ice my injury, leaving Sophie screeching curses. Why? Why is everything changing? Dad never questioned me before. I should have smothered her when we found that brat. Dad faltered slightly but kept walking. Though initially resistant, Evan Academy admitted me, separate from Sophie's class. But my mere presence exposed her as the fraud. Rumors spread like wildfire before term even started. The socialite who'd basked in admiration couldn't handle the scrutiny. On orientation day, Sophie cornered me with Justin and his goons. Apologize to my girl. Justin brandished a bat. Lackeys echoing his threats. I sighed. Do you know she's been screwing your boy here? I pointed to the lackey glued to Sophie's side. Congratulations, you're dating the Colorado Rockies' newest mascot. Lies. Sophie clung to Justin. Waterworks activated. Don't listen to her. Babe. The lackey nodded frantically. She's crazy. Bro. Soph would never. As Justin turned purple. Sophie's mental scream stunned the crowd. Shit. How does she know about the storage closet hookup? Amber Williams' eyes widened. How could she know about this? Did Li Ming spill the beans? Justin Chen's jaw tightened as he glared at the trembling girl in his arms, Sophie, whose scandalous thoughts kept flooding his mind through some bizarre telepathic link. Can't blame me though. Sophie's mental voice taunted. Justin's pathetic in bed compared to Li Ming. That guy lasts over 30 minutes and actually knows how to use his equipment. Maybe I should hit him up this weekend? So, Sophie. Justin's knuckles whitened as snickers erupted from his gang members. Care to explain? The color drained from Sophie's face as Justin shoved her away. Li Ming tried to bolt. But Justin's fist connected with his jaw. Screwing my girl. Huh? Beat him up. Wait. Li Ming scrambled for his phone. She sent me nudes first. Check our chats. Justin scrolled through the explicit messages. Veins bulging at his temples. He hurled the phone against the wall. Advancing on Sophie. Think I won't wreck your pretty face? Princess? Don't touch me. Sophie cowered in the corner. I'm the Williams heiress. My family will. Justin's laugh cut through her threat. Heiress? You're a knockoff. Already had my fun with you, maybe your precious family will just marry you off to me. Husbands can discipline wives. Right? Security guards' shouts interrupted the beating. Justin's gang scattered, leaving Sophie bruised and sobbing on the floor. I discreetly pocketed my recording phone, evidence secured. The principal summoned Mrs. Emily Williams. That evening, our Park Avenue penthouse vibrated with tension. Sophie. Mom's voice cracked like ice. Kneel. Even with her swollen face. Sophie tried protesting. Mom. Now. I bit my lip as Sophie collapsed on the marble floor. Mom tossed printed chat logs detailing Sophie's schemes, the leaked family secrets. The cosmetic surgeries to mimic me. The fraudulent business deals under our name. We gave you everything. Mom said. Even after finding our real daughter Amber. We kept you. Mistake. She slid a black card across the coffee table. 1 million. Leave tonight. Sophie's venomous glare found me. You think Amber's perfect? Your precious family traded me for her like last season's handbag. Her hysterical laugh echoed as Evan entered. His protective arm encircling me. Dad's arrival sealed Sophie's fate. We loved who we thought you were. He said coldly. Turns out we raised a viper. I pressed closer to Evan. Feigning distress. Let them think me fragile. The security footage I'd leaked to Mom's phone earlier still burned in my pocket, final proof of Sophie's plastic surgery payments to look more like me. Enjoy your money. I whispered as security escorted Sophie out. Her replacement surgery appointments? Cancelled. Her secret offshore accounts? Frozen. The Williams family would never know how many strings I'd pulled to expose their perfect imposter. Some first loves need their roots ripped out to bloom. Mrs. Williams remained unprovoked by her words, meeting her gaze steadily while Mr. Williams watched with equal disappointment. We didn't verify thoroughly initially, he admitted. But when we found a malnourished girl who might have been our daughter enduring hardship, we acted on instinct. Even after discovering you weren't our biological child. Mrs. Williams continued. We never mistreated you. We brought Amber home without displacing you. It's your greed that's appalling. Sophie. You've truly disappointed us. Sophie left with venom in her eyes. Her warped logic blaming others for her own theft. Months later, I encountered her again at the mall. flanked by two tough-looking girls. Her surgically altered face now resembled a distorted heart shape, barely recognizable beneath excessive fillers. "Amber? How dare you show your face here?" she sneered. I mirrored her initial judgmental appraisal from our first meeting, smiling coolly. "Why shouldn't I? Shouldn't you be securing a husband before that baby bump becomes obvious?" Her companions gasped as Sophie paled. "How does she know I'm pregnant?" "Mrs. Chen came demanding wedding dowry money," I explained, recalling the family's greedy demands. Something about their precious grandson needing financial security. Sophie fled in panic, unaware the Chens only wanted her womb and our family's money. Mrs. Williams eventually relented, offering partial funds after seeing Sophie's pregnancy swelling. The Chens paraded their cash prize while Sophie moved into their cramped apartment, documenting her perfect life through pathetic social media posts, watery broth labeled "Mom's Special Chicken Soup," ill-fitting maternity dresses tagged #blessed. At school, Sophie's leaked plastic surgery history and identity theft schemes made her a pariah. Meanwhile, Evan's daily chauffeur service helped me rebuild genuine friendships. On graduation day, Sophie snapped. I awoke bound in a storage unit, facing her disfigured face, crooked nose, bruised cheeks, body bloated from cheap cosmetic procedures. "You knew," she shrieked, hands clawing my throat. "You always heard my thoughts. You ruined everything." Gasping, I spat truth like broken glass, "Because you were always the talentless thief." Evan's combat boots sent her sprawling. As police dragged her away, I nestled into my brother's protective embrace, his hands checking for injuries. "You're safe now, Amber," he murmured, unaware I'd strategically let Sophie grab me where surveillance cameras would capture her assault. In the squad car, Sophie's screams faded. I scrolled past her final post, a hospital selfie caption starting fresh, before blocking her account. Some tragedies write themselves. Later, when I went to visit Sophie in prison, she'd been charged with assault, fraud, and other crimes. Thanks to the efforts of her high-priced legal team, she'll likely never see daylight again. She became hysterical upon seeing me, slamming her fists against the glass partition until her voice turned ragged. Her face, now grotesquely distorted, barely resembled the Sophie I once knew. "Amber, you bitch," she screamed. "I had the dreams. All of this should have been mine. You should be rotting in some gutter. You stole my life." I observed her calmly. Compared to my own past suffering, left for dead. Watching the Williams family crumble, prison was mercy. "Funny," I replied. "By rights, I should be the pariah while you lounge in luxury." "Sophie, everyone's told you the truth, you're the thief here. Yet you still blame me. 8 years living someone else's lavish life must make reality bitter. But let's be clear, your cruelty sealed this fate." Leaning closer, I mimicked gouging her eyes through the glass. She flinched backward. "See? Even monsters feel fear. You taught me that." Twirling my engagement ring, I added, "I'm getting married soon. Pity you'll miss the ceremony." As I turned to leave, I flashed my most polished society smile. Into the intercom, I delivered my parting gift, happy incarceration. Sophie,